Stop treating money as something neutral. Treat it as conflict. Every coin, every note, every transfer is a movement on a battlefield you keep pretending doesn't exist. And because you pretend, you enter this war unarmed, outnumbered, and blind. You walk through life as if financial forces care about your good intentions. They don't. They respond only to power, structure, and strategy. Everything else is decoration, and decoration doesn't survive war. Look at your current relationship with money. You want comfort, not control. You want luck, not leverage. You want reward, not readiness. And yet, even now, part of you knows the truth. Money is war. It always has been. You either command it, or you get commanded by those who do. You lose because you behave like a soldier waiting for orders while others operate like generals who understand the terrain. You react. They anticipate. You hope. They position themselves. You spend emotionally. They invest strategically. Your first step is simple but merciless. Accept that you are being financially hunted. Corporations hunt your attention. Banks hunt your interest. Governments hunt your compliance. People hunt your generosity. Everyone wants a piece of you. And because you don't see the battlefield, you surrender by default. Money rewards the disciplined. Money rewards the structured. Money rewards the cold. Money rewards the strategic. The soft get devoured. The emotional get drained. The disorganized get enslaved. You keep losing not because you're incapable, but because you're distracted. You drift. You improvise. You act as if money responds to wishes when it only responds to will. Take a breath and observe the truth. Your financial life is not chaotic. It is simply unguarded. Every untracked expense is an open door. Every impulse purchase is a stolen weapon. Every month without a plan is a siege you allow willingly. This is not bad luck. This is bad defense. And money is merciless with weak defenders. You think the problem is income. It rarely is. If you doubled your income today, you would still lose tomorrow if your identity remains undisciplined. You cannot out-earn self-sabotage. You cannot outrun financial blindness. You cannot climb out of a hole you keep digging with your habits. Understand this. Money does not change who you are, and it amplifies who you already are. Amplify disorder and you amplify destruction. Amplify clarity and you amplify power. Amplify structure and you amplify security. Your task now is not to chase more. It is to fortify what you already have. Look deeper into the nature of wealth. Money is not paper, not digits, not metal. Money is influence. Influence is control. Control is survival. Every powerful person you admire knows this. They move through the world studying patterns, not prices. They study psychology, not products. They study timing, not trends. You study distractions. They study advantage. Your financial weakness is psychological before it is material. You chase dopamine disguised as purchases. You chase status disguised as objects. You chase relief disguised as spending. Every unnecessary purchase is a retreat from financial dominance. Every unplanned expense is an ambush you walked into voluntarily. Every "I deserve this" is a lie meant to keep you average. Stop buying relief. Relief is cheap. Control is priceless. Your relationship with desire must evolve. Desire is a weapon that can be turned against you. Marketers know it. Corporations know it. Anyone selling anything to you knows it. You must start knowing it too. The world does not want you financially strong. A strong man is hard to manipulate. A strong man cannot be coerced. A strong man cannot be bought because he buys purpose, not distraction. This is why the world trains you to consume, not command. They want you comfortable enough to stay weak but entertained enough not to resist. Break that cycle. You rise the moment you stop seeking financial comfort and start seeking financial positioning. Positioning gives you options. Options give you leverage. Leverage gives you freedom. Without positioning, you're trapped, not by poverty, by vulnerability. Money is not the end goal. Money is the shield that protects the life you want to build. But a shield is useless in the hands of someone who refuses to learn how to wield it. Your next realization must cut deeper. You cannot win a war you refuse to see. Observe your patterns. Observe your triggers. Observe where you collapse. When stressed, do you spend? When bored, do you indulge? When insecure, do you buy symbols of confidence instead of building real confidence? These patterns are weaknesses. Weaknesses must be exposed, not excused. You cannot afford emotional spending. Emotional decisions always cost more than logical ones. They drain not only your wallet but your identity. You become financially strong the moment your money stops obeying your moods. Your next shift is structural. Structure is masculinity in financial form. Structure is how you force the world to respect your time and effort. Structure is how you create inevitability. Right now, nothing in your financial life is inevitable. You drift, you hope, you fear, you react, but nothing is guaranteed except loss. You need inevitability, inevitability of progress, inevitability of growth, inevitability of dominance. That only comes from strategy. Strategy is not a plan written once. Strategy is a system that governs your decisions even on your worst days. Money is a mirror. It shows you exactly who you are. Every flaw, every strength, every lie, every truth. Stop fearing the mirror. Start sharpening the reflection. Your financial transformation begins the moment you choose precision over chaos, discipline over impulse, and clarity over convenience. And now that the blade has pierced your illusions, the real war begins. Money reveals the truth about you long before you reveal the truth about yourself. It exposes your impulses, your fears, your habits, your insecurities, and your loyalties. You may hide these things from others, but money never hides them from you. This is why financial strength begins internally, not with income, not with investments, not with opportunity, but with identity. You cannot build financial power on a foundation designed for survival. You need a foundation designed for conquest. Conquest does not begin with taking. Conquest begins with defending. Defending your time, defending your focus, defending your resources. Without defense, every gain becomes temporary. Every deposit becomes vulnerable. Every opportunity becomes fragile. Because the world is not trying to make you richer, it is trying to make you compliant. And compliance is the silent graveyard of the financially weak. The first enemy you must defeat is distraction. Distraction steals more money than poverty ever will. A distracted mind becomes a bleeding wallet. A scattered focus becomes a predictable target. You underestimate how much money is taken from you simply because you are not paying attention. Not paying attention to subscriptions, not paying attention to impulses, not paying attention to habits, not paying attention to how your desires are engineered. A man cannot win a war while hypnotized. Break the hypnotic loop. See the traps for what they are. Strip illusions from your decisions, and this demands a new level of ruthlessness toward yourself. You must become the type of man who pauses before spending, who questions every desire, who interrogates every urge. Not because you want to live poorly, but because you refuse to live blindly. Wealth grows in the soil of awareness. Poverty grows in the soil of impulse. Choices create financial destiny, not income, not intelligence, not luck. Choices, but not the big ones, the small ones, the repeated ones, the ones that seem harmless in the moment but deadly across months, years, decades. The man who loses financially does not lose dramatically. He loses gradually. He loses slowly, subtly, silently. One careless decision at a time. One ignored detail at a time. One unconscious habit at a time. Your downfall is not sudden. Your downfall is accumulated. And the world counts on your accumulation of weakness. You need to understand the psychology of extraction. Extraction is never loud. It is quiet, comfortable, convenient. It makes you feel good while it drains you. It disguises weakness as freedom. It disguises irresponsibility as pleasure. It disguises surrender as reward. Every system that wants your money also wants your attention. Every system that wants your attention also wants your compliance. Every system that wants your compliance wants your predictability. Predictable men are exploited. Unpredictable men are respected. Learn to be financially unpredictable, not in your habits, but in your resistance to manipulation. When the world expects you to indulge, abstain. When the world expects you to spend, hold. When the world expects you to collapse, calculate. Your silence becomes confusion. Your discipline becomes intimidation. Your restraint becomes power. Because in war, the man who reacts last often wins first. Now you must face the most difficult truth. Your emotions have controlled your finances more than your logic ever has. Not because you're weak, but because nobody trained you to recognize emotional ambushes. Stress pushes you to buy comfort. Loneliness pushes you to buy distraction. Insecurity pushes you to buy image. Boredom pushes you to buy novelty. But every emotional purchase creates a financial wound that takes months or years to repair. And you do it for seconds of relief. Relief that vanishes, but consequences that remain. Stop trading your future for your feelings. Your feelings don't pay your bills. Your feelings don't protect your family. Your feelings don't build your legacy. Only your discipline does. There is nothing masculine about emotional spending. There is nothing intelligent about reactive consumption. There is nothing powerful about impulsive decisions. Power is controlled. Power is strategic. Power is selective. And you must now become selective with your every move. Your time is currency. Your decisions are investments. Your behavior is capital. Treat everything in your life as a resource, because it is. Money responds to strength. Money responds to clarity. Money responds to structure. This is why the wealthy seem to attract money effortlessly, not because they are lucky, but because they are aligned with financial reality. They think in systems, they plan in advance, they eliminate chaos before chaos eliminates them. Your problem isn't lack of potential, it's lack of positioning. You stand in the open field when you should be building fortresses. You rely on hope when you should be designing strategies. Hope is not a plan. Hope is a liability. You need structure, not optimism. You need systems, not dreams. You need boundaries, not excuses. Your new mindset must be built on 7 pillars of financial warfare. Pillars that shape how you think, act, and move. Each one cuts away a layer of weakness, revealing a man who understands money not as a prize but as a weapon. The first pillar is clarity. Without clarity, you wander. With clarity, you conquer. Track everything, question everything, expose everything. The undisciplined avoid clarity because clarity shows the truth, but the disciplined chase clarity because truth makes them dangerous. The second pillar is restraint. Restraint is not denial, it is selection. You choose what strengthens you, not what entertains you. The third pillar is positioning. You don't need more opportunities, you need to stand where opportunities appear. The fourth pillar is diversification. Dependence on a single source is financial suicide. You need multiple fronts, multiple routes, multiple flows. The fifth pillar is accumulation. Small gains, repeated consistently, outperform grand gestures fueled by emotion. The sixth pillar is reinvestment. Money that sits decays. Money that moves with intelligence multiplies. The seventh pillar is endurance. Financial power is not built quickly, it is built relentlessly. Now imagine these pillars as weapons on your belt. Not for display, for survival. Because once you accept that money is war, everything shifts. You stop being confused by the actions of others. You stop being offended by financial challenges. You stop being shocked when systems work against you. You begin moving like someone who expects resistance and wins despite it. This is where the real transformation begins. A man who understands financial warfare no longer sees money as numbers. He sees patterns, weaknesses, openings, blind spots. He sees how the world tests him, how systems pressure him, how people attempt to influence his decisions for their own gain. Your transformation requires this vision. The financially weak react to what is visible. The financially strong react to what is inevitable. Your goal is to become the man who anticipates, not the man who explains. The man who prepares, not the man who apologizes. the man who moves with strategy, not the man who moves with excuses. Most people waste their lives because they underestimate the cost of a single bad habit. You won't. From now on, you treat every habit as a tactical decision. The habit of tracking your money creates awareness. The habit of saying no creates positioning. The habit of restraint creates wealth. The habit of learning creates expansion. The habit of reinvesting creates freedom. Your enemy is not poverty. It's inconsistency. Your enemy is not circumstance. It's emotional decision-making. Your enemy is not the system. It's your lack of structure within it. But once structure becomes your identity, no financial pressure can break you. Look at the men who silently rise. They don't rise because they are extraordinary. They rise because they eliminate everything that keeps the ordinary man enslaved. They eliminate emotional spending. They eliminate unnecessary noise. They eliminate weak desires. They eliminate distractions disguised as pleasure. Every time they say no, they gain power. Every time you say yes too easily, you lose it. You must begin to treat no as a financial weapon, not out of coldness, but out of precision. You protect your energy. You protect your time. You protect your resources. Not because you want to isolate yourself, but because you refuse to be drained. People who don't understand financial war will mock your discipline. They will call you boring, cheap, obsessed, extreme. But this is only because your structure exposes their chaos. Your clarity exposes their illusions. Your discipline exposes their weakness. Let them talk. They talk because they don't win. You will win because you don't talk. The strongest players in this war move quietly. They do not announce their moves. They do not brag about their plans. They let their results speak louder than their desires. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is advantage. It keeps enemies confused. It keeps parasites away. It keeps competition blind. Your next evolution is learning how to use silence as a financial shield. When someone pressures you to spend, remain silent. When someone tries to provoke you emotionally, remain silent. When someone questions your restraint, remain silent. When someone flaunts their purchases, remain silent. Silence protects your strategy. Silence protects your focus. Silence protects your dominance. You must become the man who is difficult to influence, not stubborn, unshakable, not rigid, intentional, not emotionless, selective. The world cannot manipulate a man who governs his reactions. And this brings us to the deepest level of financial warfare, controlling the battlefield inside your own mind. Your thoughts determine your actions. Your actions determine your patterns. Your patterns determine your trajectory. If you want a different financial life, you need a different internal landscape. Right now, your mind is cluttered. You think too much and plan too little. You worry too much and act too slowly. You want too much and sacrifice too little. The mind of a wealthy man looks different. He thinks simply. He acts quickly. He commits fully. He adjusts intelligently. You cannot afford complexity. Complexity kills progress. Complexity creates excuses. Complexity keeps you debating instead of executing. Your new mindset must be simple and ruthless. Earn with strategy. Spend with precision. Invest with calculation. Grow with discipline. Anything outside these 4 pillars is noise. Your daily behavior must reflect this clarity. Wake with intention. Work with hunger. Spend with awareness. Learn with discipline. Rest with purpose. The man you become tomorrow is built by the details you discipline today. Financial strength is not built in grand moments. It is built in microscopic decisions. Choosing water over impulse purchases. Choosing study over scrolling. Choosing focus over chatter. Choosing patience over instant gratification. These choices feel small, but they create the man who becomes large. It is time you understood another truth. Wealth is not a goal. It is a consequence of structure, a consequence of clarity, a consequence of strength. Weakness produces financial instability. Strength produces financial inevitability. You must now eliminate the version of yourself that keeps sabotaging your ascent. He wants comfort. He wants entertainment. He wants escape. He wants the illusion of luxury without the discipline to sustain it. You cannot become wealthy while protecting the man who keeps you broke. Let him die. Let his habits die. Let his impulses die. Let his excuses die. Every death inside you becomes a rebirth outside you. Now visualize the world differently. Not as a hostile environment, but as a strategic landscape. Not as a place of obstacles, but as a network of openings. Not as unfair, but as predictable. Money is predictable when you understand people. People are predictable when you understand psychology. Psychology is predictable when you understand fear. Fear controls the masses. You must become the exception. Fear of missing out. Fear of losing status. Fear of saying no. Fear of being judged. These fears drain your finances more than any bill ever could. You rise financially when you stop fearing perception and start fearing wasted potential. Because wasted potential is the real bankruptcy. And now you must prepare for the final layers of this transformation. The ones that reshape not only how you earn or spend, but how you navigate every human interaction involving money, power, or influence. This is where dominance is forged. You are entering the territory where financial war becomes psychological war, where money is no longer the weapon, you are. Your presence communicates direction. Your decisions communicate dominance. Your boundaries communicate hierarchy. A man who masters his financial life becomes impossible to manipulate. People sense it. They feel the cold precision behind your choices. They feel the weight of your silence when you reject their demands. They feel your refusal to play the game of appearances. They realize you cannot be guilt-tripped. They realize you cannot be rushed. They realize you cannot be flattered into stupidity. This is the point when others start adjusting to you. This is the point when your financial discipline becomes leadership. And leadership is the final layer of financial warfare. Most people beg for respect. You will command it. Most people chase approval. You will ignore it. Most people seek validation. You will not require it. Respect is the currency above all currencies. When you hold it, money follows. When you lose it, money evaporates. Your discipline must now evolve from private structure to public posture. Not flashy, not arrogant, just undeniable. Stand with stillness. Speak with calm. Decide with clarity. Act with certainty. People trust men who move without hesitation. People fear men who move without emotion. People follow men who move without noise. Your new identity must become consistency itself. A man whose actions reflect intelligence, not impulse. A man who treats every financial decision like a blade, sharp, deliberate, controlled. And now you must understand the final truth of this war. Money flows toward power, not intention. Money flows toward discipline, not desire. Money flows toward structure, not chaos. Weak men think the world is unfair. Strong men simply master the rules. You are not playing the same game anymore. You are not the man who reacts. You are the man who calculates. You are the man who anticipates. You are the man who builds inevitability. Let the world underestimate you. Let them think you are too quiet, too serious, too focused. Their ignorance is your camouflage. By the time they realize the scale of your ascent, it will already be irreversible. Now picture yourself in the months ahead. While they sleep, you strategize. While they gossip, you build. While they spend, you accumulate. While they complain, you adapt. While they collapse, you advance. Discipline turns years into leverage. Silence turns pressure into insight. Clarity turns risk into opportunity. Restraint turns chaos into control. The battlefield belongs to the man who sees the pattern before others see the danger. This is your new identity. You are no longer the boy who reacts emotionally. You are the man who acts strategically. You are no longer the boy who fears judgment. You are the man who fears wasted time. You are no longer the boy who spends to feel worthy. You are the man who invests to become untouchable. Financial war is not won by aggression. It is won by calculation. You calculate your habits, your environment, your relationships, your moves. You impose order on your inner world until the outer world bends to it. From this moment on, your life is a long campaign. Every decision is a step on the map. Every habit is a weapon in your arsenal. Every boundary is a line drawn in the battlefield. You do not negotiate with chaos. You replace it with structure. You do not chase status. You radiate it by discipline. You do not seek peace. You build it through power. And when doubt tries to return, as it will, you remind yourself of something essential. Most men lose because they never learn how to stand alone. You are not most men. You belong to the few who rebuild themselves from the inside out, the few who cut weakness without mercy, the few who understand that every sacrifice today is leverage tomorrow, the few who know that silence, clarity, and discipline will always outperform noise, confusion, and desire. When you rise financially, make sure you rise dangerously, the kind of rise that cannot be undone by pressure, temptation, or opinion. Stand firm, move intelligently, spend strategically, advance relentlessly. This is the end of the boy. This is the rise of the man. And in this war, the man who governs himself becomes a force the world cannot contain. If this awakened something in you, hold the line and move forward. The next test is coming, and only the strong will remain. If this reshaped the way you see power, stay close. Only the disciplined, the strategic, and the few who refuse to live small remain in this circle. Subscribe and step into the ranks of those who rise.